to show with the weight of the world on my shoulders. I know I told you it's the best light I know. It's not a game that I am playing. My love, trying to hold my feeling. I don't know what's right. I'll find the best way. I think that I might. I know you made it in the nick of time. I'm calling on you. I think we're made of something. I think we're made of something. I keep my time in a pocket. I wanna find a new keeper. I like the way it's mysterious. I think I found my own way. Is it easy to show with the weight of the world on my shoulders? I know I told you it's the best light I know. It's not a game that I am playing. My love, trying to hold my feeling. I don't know what's right. I'll find the best way. I think that I might. I know you made it in the nick of time. I'm calling on you. I think we're made of something. I think we're made of something. Trying to hold my feeling. I don't know what's right. I'll find the best way. I think that I might. I know you made it in the nick of time. I'm calling on you. I think we're made of something. I think we're made of something.
Sweetie, I don't want your cookies. If you're looking for applause, keep looking. Your recipe's boring. Need a little more spice in my cooking. Ugly girlfriend sneer across the room as if I really care. I don't know what you did, but I just can't stop thinking about you every day. No, I can't stop. Got my girl with me, got my girl with me tonight. You are not a single type, so maybe this the perfect time. I'm just trying to get you high, faded off this touch. Salty, loved more than just a game, so he vowed to be his husband at the altar. I cannot pretend, I can't explain what it is, and nothing, baby, baby. That's how you know you fucked up. Just the eyes,
Come on, be my baby. Come on. Come on, be my baby. Come on.
No, I can't stop thinking about you every day. No, I can't stop. Hands to myself. Can't keep my hands to myself. Hands to myself. Can't keep my hands to myself.
You liked that, didn't you? Well, there's more on Patreon. There'll be things that can only be seen by supporters. Go to patreon.com/ShadowDragon.
If you want to be a part of the action and reach out to us, you can come join us on our Discord channel. All you have to do is go to shadowfoot.net and click on the Discord button.
Hello, Shadowfoot, and today we will be going over a basic how-to, basic on how to use Photoshop. If all audio works, then I should have my friend with me on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just quiet meh sound out of it. But anyway, I'll be going over the basics of how to use, well, Photoshop in general. So, basically starting from complete scratch, you would open Photoshop and it would look basically like this. I'm using CS6. It's a fairly basic, normal version of Photoshop. And I am here basically to show my friend how to use it. Now, what don't you know how to do so far?
I don't know how to like edit image in the Photoshop, you know, like I put an image in it and like edit an image.
Okay. So we'll start with just going over to File and New. And I've already showed you a little bit so far. You can name your document here and we'll just put test. And I have this kind of like a custom preset for my custom presets, 1920 by 1080. It's the size of a normal computer monitor. It's kind of a standard. Use a transparent background, so you don't have to worry about taking it out later. And then you did OK. All right. You got that so far?
Yeah, I've got to share my screen on Discord to see what I come up to.
Let's see. How do I show them your screen on my screen? Screen reception. Everything's difficult for me. Alright, so I can see your screen. You just got a blank canvas. Alright, so you got your toolbar over here that shows all the tools that you have readily at your disposal. There's a lot more tools than that you have to offer. You got your layers over here, and that's basically like different transparent layers that you can have on top of each other, so you can make like one doodle and layer it on top of another. The main thing you need to know is this button right here. This guy right here. One that has like a 3 dots in a swoosh back. That's your history. That's your friend. Right below it, navigation. That's also your friend. It's one of the easiest ways to, zoom and unzoom. And like I said, this is just going to be the basics. There's a lot more that you can do. But now, let's say you just wanted to doodle a house, right? You like doodling houses? Alright. Let's go like really basic MS Paint type stuff. So you come over here and you go ahead and hit your brush tool. There's shortcuts on your keyboard for everything. Like you tap one button on your keyboard and it goes to something. I'm going to go ahead and select the brush, and you can right click and this will pop up your size menu, show you how big of the brush you want, the hardness of the brush, and down here you have your colors, so you can click on that, go with the blue that's already selected. And terrible looking house. Look at my elite skills at drawing a terrible house. It's more like a wavy piece of paper. It's a blue house. It's Crayola all over again. Do better windows than anything else.
Looks like a face.
House is surprised to see you. So, yeah, just put the door handle at the very center. Alright. So this is a terrible attempt at a house. Or maybe Roblox? I don't know. Minecraft? Alright. Let's continue to do this terrible house.
I'll be right back.
Oh, he's leaving. So you got this terrible looking house. He's disappeared. I love live streams. I can't show him the other awesome thing. But over here in this corner, you have your little layers. Like I said, layer 1 is the layer I was just working on, which is this terrible looking house. But let's say, oh, that's kind of cool. I made my principal object right here, my primary object, my scary house. The carpenters were drunk during this building of the house. And you want to, let's say, make a lawn grass. But you want to be separate from the house because the house is important. So you come down here, make a new layer. By default, it's layer 2, which is fine. That's going to be on top of layer 1. And come over here. Dark green for my lawn. And because it's a new layer, I can like do that and just come here and hit this eyeball and poof, it's gone. Also, if I mess up, I can go back to history and just go back one. And it's like it never happened. I'm going to start drawing a lawn or landscape. Remember, this is your world. You can have anything you want. There's no mistakes here, just happy little accidents. And you could continue to draw like this. Which is very, very slow. Or you can somewhat cheat, because I'm making basic border out of the same solid color. Because let's say I want everything here to be green. So as long as I kind of get the generalized border filled out, and I don't want to do any kind of special shading or anything special like that, I would just continue tree, one house, and a border. And now I have kind of like an enclosed box of this terrible green house, a terrible blue house with a green lawn. And then you got something familiar from MS Paint. You have essentially a paint bucket. Works the same way as paint buckets do. Just click it, click that, and of course there's an issue with that, so click that, and there it is. The reason you had these before is because the brush does do a little bit of a blur effect onto white, so you just have to kind of re-click it, and there you go, green lawn. And this is like the super basic version of it. Same thing with the other layer. If I wanted to continue on to this layer, going back to the original house, and let's say I wanted to make the sidewalk like this color. Right down here. Oops. And now the terrible house is gone. Something's not complete right there. Then go back to that layer that was at, and make the border. Super fancy. And I guess this is basically the generalized doodling of how to doodle a terrible looking house. You got other tools here. Let's say that you want to get into something a little bit more interesting than what you could do with MS Paint, and you want to add text. You got T for text. You can come here, select your color, so red coloring. And I could put shopify.net right here. Now let's say that, oh, this text, it looks okay, but let's say I want it to, I don't know, curve around the top of the house for whatever reason. There's a nice little button right here. I mean, you have all your regular tools. You can change the text and make the text look like this or that. Put this over here. And let's say you want to curve it to go an arch above the house. Do that. This here. You can change the anglement of how it arches over. And be like, okay, there you go. It's a pretty nice looking house there. Shadowfoot.net, it's Shadow's house. It's a very scary house. But text doesn't quite match the anglement of the roof. Now I can show you something called Free Transform. Hey, you're back.
Yeah.
So you see my scary house?
Yeah.
I made a lawn.
Yeah, I see it.
I know. I put text around the house so you know it's my house. It's special. Special house. So anyway, paintbrush, and more paintbrush, and then text. Alright, so now that you're back and I'm kind of done with this terrible looking house, so that's going to be really well. Get rid of that layer, get rid of that layer, and get rid of that. care that all happened. Okay. So you want to learn how to, let's say,
Edit an image.
all right. So let's go ahead and load up an image here. I chose Gary Busey. It's a wonderful looking person. And since you already know how to use the paintbrush and such, I'll show you how to use what?
Open. I want to use this image. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
Okay. So you got Gary Busey right here. And let's say that you want to, well, obviously you want him and nothing else. So there's this one tool right here that is about the third one down, and it might be called lasso. Well, you could do lasso if you want to, but right click on it and hit magnetic lasso. Make things a little bit easier. And this is where that navigation icon will also come in handy over here as well. You can zoom in slightly. At any given time, you can just kind of grab him with your little fist and just work around with where you want. Or if you're on the canvas, you can hold the space bar and then click and move. And that makes things easy. Alright, so the magnetic tool is pretty easy. You just click and start dragging along the same perimeter. It does a pretty good job about following the contours of wherever you're locked onto. It's not perfect, but it's quick and basic and easy. There's better ways to do this. But I was going to show you how to do a quick version of what he did. You need to clean up most pictures you come across. Not all pictures.
So how do I zoom in? Just scroll. No.
Nope.
How do you?
Yeah, if you see like I showed you the button before. You see
Oh
where?
shit! How do I zoom out?
Okay. You see that the small picture right here, the small box right here.
Hold up, I'm still.
See where the cursor is. Right here.
Okay. Yeah.
Come here.
Wait.
Click.
I don't see it.
You don't see it.
Where? Okay. So it's over there. So that pop is it? How do you get that? All those bars on the side there.
You don't have those bars on the side?
Like, by the next to the colors, you see all those like here. Let me share my screen, and you just tell me where to click.
All right. Give me a second here.
Oh.
All right. So let's see. All right. You don't have the navigation windows. All right. You see this right here where it says window? For some reason you don't have it. Go ahead and hit window. And go down to where it says navigation.
Navigator.
Yep.
Yep.
And now that one's there.
So do I just like scroll? Ah.
Yep. You can drag. All right. So I went around this entire Gary Busey with the magnetic lasso, and
So magnetic lasso.
And because I selected the background and I want him, not the background, I'm going to select inverse, which basically, I believe it's Control-I if you want to use the shortcut key, but basically reverses everything I just selected. So instead of selecting the background, I've now selected him. So then I'm going to right click on him and just cut him out.
So how do I zoom in and like drag around too?
Alright,
Like how do I like drag this around so I can look down here?
alright, so go ahead and hold the space bar and then click and drag. You have to be zoomed in. Hold the yeah.
Okay, so click on the lasso, then do I drag, like hold my mouse down and do it?
Yep. When you start clicking and dragging, you'll start seeing like the line go, and eventually it'll plot like a little map on its own. So you'll start seeing it follow around. You see it?
Wait,
See it doing it. Now, if you make a mistake, you can hit the delete button, and it'll delete the last point.
where's that?
Hit the delete button.
Oh, just the delete button.
That
It deletes everything.
No, just the last one. If you tap it once. So, like, if I wanted to, for instance, come in a little closer, I wanted to.
You know how with the lasso, you know how when you clicked it came out with those like little white dots? Mine doesn't do that.
They're using the magnetic lasso or the regular lasso?
Oh, right click, magnetic. Alright. Oh yeah, it's a lot easier.
Yep. You can also click at any point on while using the tool and plot your own magnetic lassos, or your own, I guess, waypoints, is what you might call them.
How do I oh. How do I scroll up? Oh.
Alright. So if you're halfway through doing like this, you can at any point press and hold the space bar, and then you can, like a little handle appear, and you can use that to drag around. Okay, I'm just waiting for you to. Right. Got the Busey teeth here. I'm gonna wait for you to get your thing kind of done. I'm gonna show everyone else something else. I got the Busey teeth here. Now let's say I wanted to modify just that one section I got selected. Go into image, and adjustment, and I can change all of these. Change the hue, change color balance. To do the color balance, I can select what kind of colors I want away. So I want to, let's say, remove yellow or add more yellow. Easily color shift closer to blue without going too far blue. Remove red, as red is part of yellow. Ever so slightly. I just phase shifted the color and the hue. Doesn't change. Mids, shadows. If I do the shadows, then it looks a little more obvious though it's shopped. So highlights, shift away from yellow a little bit. Alright. And there we go.
Okay, I'm nearly finished.
We're almost finished. Alright. So what I did is come back here and look. When I changed the color balance, I went from that, the original, to this. That to this. That to this.
Okay.
Teeth, my color correction.
So how do I turn the magnetic thing off?
You have to connect the other end of the magnetic thing. So since you're at the bottom of your picture, just kind of make some waypoints at the very bottom. Just kind of tack and drag all the way over.
Okay, I've done it.
Okay, good.
Okay, yeah, I've gone around the whole picture. So now what do I do? If you look at my screen, I've gone around the whole picture, so what do I click now?
Alright, cool. So now that you've gone around the entire picture, it's kind of like I'm circling Debussy's lips now. So let's try this again.
No, I'm on the phone. But yeah, you are still on. What? You're doing.
Go away. Who's that?
We're going to the Greyhounds together. And
So am I. I'm going to.
Josh is coming too, apparently. Josh, what are those spiky things around?
Oh, that's the lines.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I do once I put the line around the whole thing?
Alright,
No. What?
so was there any color correction that you wanted to change, like for your particular
The
characters?
background.
Alright.
Oh, the jacket. I'll change the jacket to like maybe like a black.
We can do that in a bit. I'll show you that. Now, like I said before, once you get this all selected, if it's going to be something that you're going to subtract from the environment altogether, you can right-click.
Right click. It doesn't do anything when I right click.
Can you right-click on it?
Right click, yeah. Oh, right click, yeah. I can drag it.
Well, I guess you could drag it. You can right-click on it and hit cut. Or
What do you mean?
Okay.
Right click. It doesn't come up with anything.
you know, kind of like the opposite mouse button that you normally use. How many buttons do you have on your mouse? Like the left click and the right click?
1, 2. No, when I right click on the thing that I've done, it doesn't do anything. Then when I left click, I can like drag it around.
Alright.
Oh, maybe because I need to select this. Oh, yeah, okay. So I go deselect.
Alright, so your background's highlighted, not the foreground or your actual characters.
You know that thing that magnetic crop thing?
Yep.
I've gone around my character with it.
Okay. So you want to cut your character out. So once you right-click on him, go ahead and hit Layer via Cut.
Layer via cut. Yeah, I just did it.
Okay. Now if you look on this side on your screen, you'll see where you have a background and then you have, you know, the layer. Just go ahead and hit this little icon for the background. Make it go away.
What little icon is
It's
it?
a little eyeball.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now your background's gone and poof, no longer there. So that's the first phase. Now what you can easily do, now that there's nothing but your character, you can kind of go through and proof a little bit. Now if you want to change, like, let's say the color of his jacket, there's several ways you can do it given that you have a simple picture. But that's like the first phase. So if you wanted to change like the color of the jacket, you could do something like a chroma key, where you'll find...
Let's change the background first. What color, like, how do I change the background?
Okay. What do you want the background to be?
I want it to be the color. I just want it to be a red.
Okay. Okay.
Like a pinkish kind of reddish. Depends what looks good.
Alright. So we're going to go ahead and make a new layer.
How do we...
There's a button way down here. Looks like a piece of paper with one end folded.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I just made one, yeah.
Now click and drag that layer and put it below your character layer, but not below the background layer.
Okay, yeah, did it.
Okay. I did the same thing for Busey over here. And I've lightened his teeth up a little bit. Alright. And let's say I want to have outsource a little bit here. Let's say I want to take a picture right now I want to use. So I got a picture I want to use. It's going to be this picture of an airport terminal. I just went File Open and I clicked on it. And it's not appearing. There it is. And I want this entire picture to go, so I just did Control A, which selected it all. And cut the layer. Control A again. I'll move it over here. Let's transform it. Put it back around here.
How the fuck did you do that? How did you do that? Okay, go to my like
Alright, so what I did is I got the picture, right?
the thing is I don't have two monitors.
That's fine, that's fine. Let's say you want to do like a simple background, right? Let's say you just want to have like a purple background, right? So we're on the same page just like you were. You have your new layer selected that you don't have anything on there, right?
Yeah.
Say I'm going to put UC behind a green.
Oh, wait, where'd you... Oh, can you go back to... That color thing? Did you click that thing like above it? Above?
Right here. right where I showed you how to do colors earlier. Okay. Just,
No, in the bottom left, like yeah, where's the icon that I click to open it, or do I just click on
just click on the box.
art, and I can
And-
make it any color?
Yep. You got this slider, which is just the area of the color, like the shade of the color. And
Okay, I
then
got it.
This. Okay. So I'm using
Okay.
a bright green because I can chroma key it later. And then since I don't want to waste time squiggling on it, I'll hit this paint bucket and click on the background. And since it is its own independent layer, now I have a green background around
So
Gary.
bucket.
It's a bucket. It's kind of a weird picture of a bucket, but it's a bucket
Do I
nonetheless.
even? I don't even think I even have a bucket.
Should have a bucket. Everyone has a bucket.
Where the bucket is, it's just a drop.
It might have the gradient tool, like
Oh yeah, I do.
just
Yeah.
right click on it and there's the bucket.
Right click. Paint bucket tool.
And then you can
Okay.
just, alright.
I got it.
Right. So if layers are good because if you make a mistake, you can just get rid of the layer. Like I did that terrible, terrible house that we should forget about.
Yeah.
All right.
So now how do we change the color of the jacket and the hat?
So there's a couple ways you can do that. If you just want to phase shift the entire color, let's go ahead and take a precautionary. Go to your layer, the layer of your character.
Layer of my character, yeah.
And I'm just going to do the same thing. Let's say I want to duplicate the layer. So you right click on it, hit duplicate layer.
Yeah.
Alright. And
Layer, what should I call it? Just layer 1 dupe.
yeah, you could. I just usually never name my layers. I'm just weird like that. I'm just going to unselect the original and just keep the copy. That's for myself.
Yep.
And since you've clicked on the layer, you're only selecting just the layer itself, right? So you could do Control A, which selects everything. So the Control button and plus the A button.
Yeah.
And those highlight everything. And just like I colored or whitened Busey's teeth, you can go into Image, Adjustments, and you can
Image, Adjustments.
And you can change hue saturation. Since you have basically only like 3 colors on that person, like a white beater, a shirt, and a hat, and the shirt and hat's the same color, kind of cheat a little bit. Here it is again. It's
Do I click replace color?
nope. Just Image, Adjustments, and hue saturation.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now you have 3 different selections on these. You have you can actually do the hue, saturation, or lightness. So if I wanted to shift all of Busey, since I have his lips ironically a different color, I can change him drastically. Purple, blue, sky blue.
Oh yeah. That's actually pretty good.
Turn him into Bruce Banner. Now one thing I was going to do is same thing, except like previously
I might just keep it black and white.
can do
So
that.
black and white and a pink background. So saturation 0. Lightness. Control Z. 0. Oh, what did I do? Image. Adjustments. Hue saturation. So, you know where it says master?
You can change those for different qualities of it. And under adjustments, there's a lot of things you can change as well. You can do like a black and white, where it'll make where you can kind of change everything to black and white or different variants of it.
How do I only change the guy's jacket instead of changing his white, like his skin color and everything like that? Like, how do I just change his jacket?
All right. Let's see. It's been a while since I did that. Give me just a second here. There is a way to change it without changing the entire picture, just by locking onto a single color, basically like a chroma key. The best way to do it is just select what you want and then deselect something else. So since you have a pretty small hat, you could actually select the hat and cut it. So that way it's independent if we're going to do a lot of color mixing. Kind of like I just select his eyes or his nose or his head, his hair. So if you wanted to select, let's say, the hat, you could do that.
If you look at my thing, my Discord, like what it is, you can see that what I've done. I think that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. So you still have your layer for your original down there too. If you click the eyeball on that, you can actually kind of see like a before and after. It's also why I like doing the layers. Well, of course, you have to select your original, then take the other layer off, the one above it. I can kind of add the eyeball. Click the eyeballs. Okay. Click that. You can see like a before and after.
Yeah.
All right. So it's kind of the basics of how to just do some basic color shifting, how to doodle. You can use individual components as well. Like for instance, you could draw the hat and then move it around a little bit. A lot of copy paste is something that you can actually end up doing. And we're not even getting into like any of the other fun stuff yet, where you can actually get into the filters. These filters are pretty awesome. But let me see if I can show you an example of a filter real quick. So I got UC's face, not counting his lips, and his nice purple lips. And I can go ahead and go into a filter. Then go into a filter gallery. And let's say I want to, just like you previously had, I want to turn into a little bit more of a cartoon-ish outline.
Where do you find your images?
I just googled one real quick. I did.
No, like when you like press Control S, Where does it go?
That's a good question. I usually just do save as. I believe it goes to your downloads folder as default. And it'll usually save as a Photoshop document, not anything else. So you'll have something that's saved as a Photoshop document. You do save as, you can save it as, let's say, a JPEG or a PNG file. I usually do either a PDF or a PNG, as well, of course, with the master, which will be a Photoshop, a PSD document.
Oh, that's it.
Alright. So, back to playing around with filters and stuff. For your character in particular, you could actually have a good bit of fun with some of your filters. So let's see. You can use a gradient here, or a filter here, that basically sketches him. I was looking closer to be the Joker. Alright,
Yeah.
so how's yours turning out?
Pretty good.
Okay.
I just saved it.
You found it where it's saved?
No. Can't find it.
Go back to your Photoshop.
Hold up.
The Photoshop icon.
It comes up when I like look for it.
Right.
But
Just
this is it. This is it right here.
okay. That's saved as a Photoshop document. Okay, now go ahead and go File and Save As. Okay. Now it's good that you have the PSD document. It's great. Now let's go ahead and hit Format, like right below where it has the name. And you want to change it to something you can use. You could do a JPG or JPEG. It's right there.
What's the best one? Probably a PNG.
PNGs are pretty good. So you go ahead and select PNG. So like if I want to save this one, I go File, Save As, PNG. And usually I just use the defaults unless there's a particular reason. Downloads.
Okay, I got it. I got it now.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Excellent. So now I got the two pictures. I got Lucy right here.
I might have to, I'm going out for dinner. Like, I'm going out for dinner in about 20 minutes, so I'm gonna go have dinner, and then I'll come back in maybe like an hour and like 30 minutes.
Yeah. I was supposed to be
I'll probably-
doing a game review, but or just some gameplay, but kind of got sidetracked and people wasn't available at the time. So, yeah, Photoshop tutorial it is. So,
Okay, I'll see you later, Shadow.
all right, no problem.
Thanks, bro.
All right. Alright, and this has been a very simple tutorial on how to do some very basics on Photoshop. I'm sure there's a billion questions that's left, such as if you hit this tool, you can move things around that's selected in your layer. And there's so many tools that one video just won't do it. The best thing to do is just to kind of have some fun with it. Take an image that isn't very that important, download it onto the internet, have fun with it. For personal use, of course. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this is obviously not what it looks like all the time. But I did show you some, useful things you can change, like color tones and stuff. I can make him look a little less, right around the nose if I wanted to do that. I could actually use some other tools that's on here to clean that up, kind of like the sponge tool, which sponge tool. Burn, dodge, smudge if I wanted to. I could actually kind of smudge the area I don't want away. And then, of course, that lessens the quality of the picture. You can use a sharpen tool around the eyes to kind of sharpen up the eyes so it kind of pops out more in this picture than anything else. So something as simple as a sharpen tool around the eye actually does some pretty amazing things, because most people, when they get hit with a flash, has a pretty dull eye color. So if you hit a sharpen on the eye, you can see a drastic difference between this and this. And the only thing I did is sharpen up some of the contrast on the eye. You can actually get some pretty cool effects if you do it too much. Like I said, it's going to be something you just want to play around with it for a while before you get really good at it. And some of the best stuff I've seen has came by complete accident. I've been doing just by squiggling and playing with filters. And, yeah. Anyway, bench output, and it'll be probably a much better stream tomorrow. Till next time.
You liked that, didn't you? Well, there's more on Patreon. There'll be things that can only be seen by supporters. Go to patreon.com/ShadowDragon.
If you want to be a part of the action and reach out to us, you can come join us on our Discord channel. All you have to do is go to shadowfoot.net and click on the Discord button.